Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is Travis Semulin Sowers, and we're jumping into a best of one ranked draft on MTG Arena with Kaldheim. And we're reaching the end of our Kaldheim days, where we will be saying goodbye to Kaldheim and getting ready for Strixhaven. If you're watching this on YouTube or on Twitch, what's up, Twitch? I will soon have an article series out on facetofacegames.com outlining what I think will be some of the best things you can do in Strixhaven. So that's a good way to get a head start. I think I like Squash here, although I suppose you could argue that Freya is good in her deck and Moriite is good in her deck, but I've found Blue-Red Giants to be pretty effective and not asking a lot. But like, either of these are cards that if I saw 5th, I would be like, maybe we can go. Whereas Squash, I feel like, is at least flexible. It can kill a Linda, and it can go in basically any red pair. So I think I'm going to take it, but like, this is a rough pack because the rare's kind of crap and this uncommon's bad, and those two are gold. So it makes me worry a little bit. Here, I think we're just going to take Showdown of the Scalds and be happy. This card's busted adjacent. 4 mana, draw 4, put some counters on some creatures. I think we're pretty excited about that. We could splash it in Giants. We could play red-white. We'll see where this goes. So this one's significantly easier because there's just a card that's so much higher power level over the rest of it. Is there a common I would take over that? Probably not. There's a possibility somebody took something like I mean, think about what are the best commons of each color, right? Most people think Doombolt is the best red common. I think they're wrong, but that's okay. They didn't take an Avalanche Caller. That's not a common. So like maybe they took a Packmate, maybe they took a Behold the Multiverse, maybe they took a Pacifism. Like I could see somebody arguably saying that a monocolored removal spell would be a more reasonable pick, but I wouldn't do it. This is another interesting pack with Poison the Cup and Mistwalker still here. I think I like the Poison, and we'll see where this takes us. They didn't take a Snowmold. Well, okay, fair enough. They might have taken the Veil. But whatever it was, I think it was probably not correct, but that's okay. You can draft however you want. For me, I want to draft with good removal spells in my deck. I could see some people arguing to take Pick over Showdown. I think that's a bit much even for me. I'm certainly on the Pick train. They've got a lot of packs backed up, so they may also be chair drafting. I've done that before. How do you feel over End of Kaldheim? There's an expression where I come from, which is don't let the door hit your butt on the way out. That's kind of how I feel about Kaldheim. It was not a bad set. It was not my favorite. I ain't going to miss it. And I think if there's Kaldheim flashbacks, I'm not going to be like, oh man, we got to do that. Whereas if there's Hour of Devastation flashbacks or Ikoria flashbacks, I'm like, let's see what we can do here. I'm not opposed to playing a Feed the Serpent. What's interesting is I may end up in like a deck where Freya would have been really great after passing one for Squash. I've never played Theros. I don't really have any interest in playing a flashback format I've never played. I think I'm going to take the feed and see where this goes with black removal, and we'll see what we can pair it with. I'd really like it to be white or red so we can consider splashing this Showdown. And it looks like we may be drafting black-white after passing a Freya, which is funny to me. Maybe it wheels. I've seen it wheel before. Like, this looks like a decent start. The other option would be to take the Immerstrom Skullcairn. If any of these cards were better than situational, I think I'd take them here. But they're simply not. Yeah, we've got a lot of decent things here for black-white specifically. Like, I don't mind Iron Verdict, and I certainly like the Great Hall of Starnheim. I think the Great Hall is a little bit better of a pick than Iron Verdict, as not every black-white deck wants this. A lot of them do. But this is going to let us play 17 lands if we want to and still have access to a bunch of spells. Now, we're not exactly in a deck that can maximize a pick yet, but I suspect that we could be, because I'm going to be valuing Story Seekers, Beskar Shieldmates, and Death Kneel Berserkers pretty highly from here. And it does give us some, like, the beginning of a plan to be able to splash the showdown. Let's see what we can do. You've been watching for a long time, Cola. Thanks for being here, my friend. Gate crash videos, I remember those. So I do want a preponderance of 2-drops, but this is actually a really great equipment. So I'm going to gobble up the Draugr's Helm here. You've got to be careful and make sure that, like, this deck probably wants 5, 6 2-drops. Frankly, it would play Raptors too. And here's my choice. I think I like the Story Seeker a little better, but I really like Beskar Shieldmates too. And I think this deck would quite happily play a Raptor. This was our wheel pack, so somebody took that Freya. I guess we have to hope we get him out of it. Once you realize that Pick is one of the better commons in the set, like, your whole view on this set changes a bit. This pack is significantly less exciting for us because I don't really love Skull Raid. We're pretty far away from playing green. Like, there could be some argument that we're playing red-black. So I think I'm going to take this and see if this goes somewhere. I don't always even play this in red-black, but whatever. I don't mind one Jarl. I'm not exactly excited about it. Coma's Faithful I'll just play. It's usually pretty easy to find some graveyard shenanigans. The lifelink's relevant. I've sideboarded in Dogged Pursuit and Village Rites, but I've never mained either of them. I don't think we're going to play any of that. Skull Raid could make it in. And the second Faithful probably just does. This is quite a pack. It's got Demon Bolt, which I do think is a very good card. Like I've said, removal is not necessary, and I don't think that it is, but this is still quite good removal. There's a Shieldmate, a Valkyrie. Wings of the Cosmos is not bad. I've been pretty happy with Dream Devourer in red-black, where you can do stupid things like foretell your 7-mana giant. But that's not the rare for us. I think we're just excited by this Shepherd. I can already get back the Great Helm, the Story Seeker, and the Pick if something happens to that, like say we mill it. And if I can wheel the 2-drop, I'll be thrilled. I'm going to have to be a grown-up and grab a couple 2-drops, but I can find them after we take this Bounding Gold. That's almost all the removal we'll need at all. And this deck could probably put a Valkyrie Sword in it just in case you flood out. But I don't really feel like I need it. Bounding Gold is great for those pesky Icebind pillars. All right, our color pair is getting hacked a little bit here. This is not incredibly surprising. We know that it's open this way. This way we passed a Freya, and one of these people took it. So we're going to get hacked a little bit here, and it's going to look like our deck's kind of bad. It's okay. It's going to be fine. Don't stress. We can play this Disciple. It's okay. We've got equipment to put on it. We can potentially buy it back. We can sacrifice it. Like, we can play it. We're hoping not to, but we can. So do we want another Feed the Serpent, or do we just want to take our Axe Braggart and go? Why are we panic basketing? Oh, because I said not to panic. I don't think it's good. I think it's acceptable. I don't think we'd be splashing for Kurder. And I think with the Bounding Gold and the Shepherd of the Cosmos, we're ready to go here. I think if this was another Bounding Gold, I'd take it. It's not. I'm concerned about us not having enough bodies, which can be an issue sometimes in these decks. I think I just want the Braggart. It's not the best thing ever, but it's fine. This pack leaves me somewhat underwhelmed. But I do want one Wings of the Cosmos. So I may as well take it. This deck is not going to be interested in a Batter Warrior. This only gets auras. Like, how is that going to happen? I guess we could mill our Bounding Gold or mill the Steel. Yeah, I think I'm more likely to play that than 2 Wings, and I should find a Wings. All right, I've said a couple times we would play the Raptor. We could also be quite interested in a Trickster God's Heist, but I think that might be pushing the boundaries of this showdown a little too far. I have a feeling that our color pair is going to be so open the next way that I can take the Alpine Meadow here just to solidify that splash. I am concerned about not getting enough twos because no, we have not seen any Death Knell Berserkers, which is kind of what I really want my twos to be. Steel is very good with Shepherd. I don't know about very good, but it's acceptable. If you're getting it back with a Shepherd, they've already 2-for-1'd you. Yeah, we need to like take panic bodies. So Doomscar Oracle, come on in. Hallelujah! We've been waiting for you. So this is the pack I want to wheel a Beskar Shieldmate, and we did. There's also a Valkyrie. Oh, Lord. I want to take the Valkyrie and get another Shieldmate, but I need 5/2 drops. We've got to take this. Valkyrie is very nice with a lot of things we have going on. The Courser I don't really want in this deck. I thought it was going to be good in this deck, and then I played with it sometimes, and it just wasn't. Yeah, Demonic Gifts is fine too. So is the White Combat Trick. I've not found a deck that the Courser was good in. That doesn't mean that there isn't one, but I've never played it. It says something that we've got a 3-mana 2/2 flyer that Frost Breath something in the next set. And we're excited about it, and that's because a 3-mana 2/2 flyer is just not good anymore. Back in the day, Windrake was a staple of blue decks, and you could win video games with them, but not any longer. I don't think we need 2 wings, although how you're flying with 1 wing is kind of, well, I guess it is wings. Not really for me to decide. So if we've got to play Skull Raid, Jarl, Oracle, and Disciple, we can probably do that. We're just looking for upgrades for those if possible. Don't really want to jam this guy, but we could. We've got 1 pick. So this is actually an interesting one because we've got the Righteous Valkyrie and the Rune of Sustenance. The Rune of Sustenance would obviously be pretty good on the pick we already have, and I'd be taking more picks highly, and it would be good on the Draugr's Helm. But I'm thinking the 2/4 flyer might frankly just be better. It gives us almost as much lifelink as well as something that can really do some work. Well, it heals off of a lot of our creatures, but like it's not like we're getting a lot of healing off of this. It's equal to the toughness, right? I think we take the rare, but I would have been happy to take the rune too. I think the rare is just obviously better. This pack kind of sucksers. I could see taking a Booty Cleric. I could see taking Kaya's Onslaught. I could see taking the Gold Maul Champion. I think this is at... No, I'm going to take the Onslaught. Screw it. That'll be my combat trick. I need a 2-drop. Does this combo with anything? It's got to be Berserkers, right? So here is basically it. And there. Is the Story Seeker just better? Well, we do have 2 elves. That's fair. The Story Seeker's probably not just better. I really want this Stinkhole too, but... Yeah, so we've got an elf here and 2 clerics here. This is starting to shape up. I think I want the Stalwart Valkyrie, and we're pretty close to a deck. There's my last 2-drop. Huzzah. We could play an Iron Verdict. I also don't hate Kennel Master if we don't have a lot of top end, and we don't. So we've got Bounding Gold, Poison the Cup, Feed the Serpent as removal spells. It is, but I'm not super looking to maximize that. The lifelink is probably more relevant on the Story Seeker than the Cleric tag. I think I want the Kennel Master as my other top end card, and we're probably done. Yeah, I don't think it'd be great, but it'd be workable. We could play Fall of the Imposter, but I'm not really set up to splash it. I kind of am set up to splash this showdown. I don't like Raider's Carve. I don't think we would play it. A lot of Captain. I mean, we've got some things that can drive it, but the card's still not very good. There's a world where we end up playing this. Weird stuff to wheel, but whatever. Like it's kind of like, what weird combo do you want to have as your last card? And I guess it's this. Sold. Okie dokie. This is coming together kind of in a good way. Do I want Raise the Dongers, or do I want another Story Seeker? Because we ended up with slightly less equipment than I'd normally like. I think I actually want the Raise. Because I've only got really one piece of equipment. It's not like we're looking to like jam 2-drops and go, go, go. So I think we're going to take Dongers for value and then consider what our last card will be. It could be a Dread Rider, although I don't think I want that. There's some argument that if we're exiling a bunch of crap to feed the Valkyries, that Dongers is going to be a little worse, but we can just try to be cognizant of that. Because like Dongering back a Shepherd and a Valkyrie is pretty good. No, I don't think the Rider's terrible. That's unlikely to come together, but it could. I've won games with Riders. I've won plenty of games with Riders. Oftentimes it was in a green-black deck that was looking for Linda and didn't get one, so it was like, okay, I guess I can fetch it with my Rootless U. But it's like a little bit of extra reach. What if this was just it? We do this and we're done. Like, I think this is actually maximizing the rare. And this is about the mana base I would want, isn't it? Hey, Semulin, I'm new. What is a good but cheap deck? I have no idea. I'm sorry I can't help you with that. I play predominantly limited. Right now, we're mostly just playing draft. Chat may be able to help you out with some constructed stuff. If you'd like to get started in draft, !joy can tell you a lot about how to get started there. Let's do our Stream Raiders battle, and then I'll clean up this mana base a bit. Draft is my favorite. Well, limited is my favorite way to play. Draft is my favorite way currently to play on Arena. And I'd encourage everybody to give that a try rather than just buying cards. You get just about as many cards, and you get to play a game with them. Yep, I have all of the wild cards you can get. I have far more wild cards than I actually want. Adam with the kills, Yak with the assists, rewards for Zulu, Orcish, and Shorty. It's important, too, to think about what deck you enjoy playing, right? Like, crafting the best deck isn't always the best option. You got to make sure you're having some fun, you know? I think I like the list so far. I could see an argument for including Spectral Steel. And I could see an argument for playing slightly less lands, although I'm somewhat concerned about hitting the land drops. If I think I can ever activate that Axgard Armory, I'm basically counting that as the 17th land. What do you think is better, playing on a PC or IRL? PC for me. PC for me. The bathroom's always clean and the food's always good. And I don't have to wait at all to play between rounds. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1. That actually seems like a pretty reasonable mana base. So let's just clean these up a little bit and then go to town. It's wanting me to play more black because we have some double blacks. And I kind of agree with it. All right, let's get it. It's okay to like Paper Magic. I just don't really have much interest in playing it. That is a relatively common gripe. This is not a lovely start, but it could be with a swamp. So let's cross our fingers and hit that swamp. I suppose I can at least do something if we draw a plains, which would be the Bounding Gold. I don't really want to Bounding Gold their first play, but I could. Maybe it's a really good first play. We're happy about it, but best course of action is, of course, to just draw the swamp. I can see those perspectives. I make a lot more mistakes when I play in person because I'm not used to trying to read my opponent, and I'm used to trigger stacking automatically. Like, I'll pretty consistently make mistakes if I'm playing in person. Okay. Old. Paper Magic with friends is a good time, but digital Magic can be as well. Huggy Huggy birthday on this your special day. Huggy Huggy birthday is what I'm here to say. So we've got options here to bind this in gold and to develop the Story Seeker, which I kind of dig, but I'm concerned about Alinda. If I don't and they get an attack in, they're going to kill the Faithful anyway, which also has me worried. But I think I'm okay with this line. The drafties go good, Andy. How are things in your world? I let the dogs out. Because I think we may need this for something like Alinda. So I realize I'm letting them have the Faithful for free, but I think it's done its job. It's done a 12-point life swing. Yeah, I certainly blame Andy. I blame Andy for us having a great time. So we can get back Shieldmate or the Armory, and we have the mana to activate the Armory. I think I like just building a giant board And then seeing what we can do next turn with the Shadow Sage. It's a little bit of extra reach you wouldn't expect. And if they want to ping a shield mate, I don't care. Have you ever played Hearthstone? I have. It was fun. They didn't have something that was as compelling as Limited, like Draft. So I didn't enjoy it quite as much, but it was still fun. They have the Battlegrounds, which is not like Draft. The Battlegrounds are closer to something like Teamfight Tactics or Dota Underlords, which I also enjoyed. They have a draft-like thing, but it's essentially like a weird sealed deck generator. Because there's no interactions with other players while you're drafting. And it was a fun way to play the game. Like, there's a lot of good stuff to say about Hearthstone. But I like drafting Magic better. That's why I'm drafting Magic. Whenever I want to get chat mad, I can say I like that Hearthstone had slightly less RNG. Hearthstone Arena was fun. Like I said, this is just my preference. It's also like I've played a lot of Draft in Magic. I've been playing this game for a long time. So I've got a little bit more experience with it. So that comfortability added a bit to it as well. This deck doesn't seem bad. You can never tell how you're going to finish with a deck that doesn't seem bad, though. Like, we had that green deck that looked pretty nutty. It did not finish well, and then that blue-red Giants deck with nothing good in it was all commons. And I was like, this is probably going to lose immediately, and we managed to get 4 wins with it. I think I streamed Hearthstone Battlegrounds for about 2 weeks. No, it may have even been a month, and I enjoyed it. But the challenge there was, much like with Underlords and Teamfight Tactics and some of those other games, is the picks that the other players are taking don't really affect what you see as much, and that starts to be a bit of a concern. Now, old Travis would tell you that this is a fine keep, and in reality it probably is. But as we're playing ranked draft, I don't need fine keeps. I need hands that give me an opportunity to win, and this one doesn't do anything close to that. So it's going to have to go back. Which sucks, but it is what it is. All right, I think I can win a game without the Kennel Master, so we're going to give this one a try. They didn't botch the release of Artifact. The release went just fine. The gameplay model was stupid. I don't know that the game was terrible. I watched a streamer that I follow. It's pretty good at explaining card games, and I watched him play it for 20 minutes and couldn't understand what was going on. It's like, I should be able to watch somebody who's good at explaining card games and understand the game within 10 minutes, because I'm pretty good at understanding card games, and I had no clue what was happening. Well, that was a fun game. Hey, thank you, Joke. I hope that you'll watch the rest of the series and get some value out of those. And tell all your friends to come watch. All right, so normally I would not be excited to jam this down, But if the Omen Keel starts connecting, we're going to lose the video game. So I need something that can block the bloody thing. So we're going to do that. I think I've heard of that from like CFB stuff. But if it doesn't have some version of limited, I'm probably not going to be terribly interested in it. Didn't they discontinue support for it, Splinter? Did you ever play Elder Scrolls Legends? I did not. I played Hearthstone and Legends of Runeterra are the other card games that I've gone semi-deep on. And I have mostly good stuff to say about Runeterra, but their limited was the worst of any of them. It was like slightly more complex jumpstart. Are we there, Yeti? All right, I think this needs to be my line, is to try to steal a win in the air. Yeah, they said they were going to rework it, and then they didn't. Well, I liked the idea of built-in mana sinks, and I think it made for a simpler game, which is not necessarily a worse game, but it made for a simpler game when you got to the idea of choosing your colors essentially first in draft, right? Like when you started a draft and it was like, do you want to be a wizard, a priest, or a warrior? You're basically choosing your colors before you sit down to draft, and that's easier to introduce people to. Huh. So they're going to try to race me with the Omen Keel. This exiles too, doesn't it? Yeah, that's kind of the worst for what we're doing. They're going to have to get a no-value Shepherd. Well... All right. So I could pop this now for an extra 4 damage. That doesn't seem useful. I'm trying to decide whether I want to kill the Omen Keel or play the Shepherd. I'm kind of thinking if they want to tap out my stuff and try to get me, that this is fine. Yeah, because if their plan is to race me, I have a surprise for them. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that is how you steal a game, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why I took the Kaya's Onslaught. The perfect heist, indeed. Hey, Diamond Tier 1 Gaming. Go, go. All right, sorry to do this during a YouTube draft, but I gotta go pee-pee. Chat, you guys keep YouTube entertained. I'll be right back. Thank you, chat, for keeping the YouTubers entertained. Yes, like, subscribe, and ring a bell. We are getting close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is kind of a big benchmark. It lets you monetize the channel. So if those of you that dig stuff like The Joy of Drafting would like to see more of it, boy, let me tell you what. I think this one's a keeper. It's significantly better than the last hand we had to flush. It really only needs one white source to get going, and I'm planning to draw one immediately, so I think we got something here. Exclamation point joy will get you to the joy videos, Vaxed. Unless you were looking for a way to donate, which is certainly welcome. So the question is, do we attack with an equip, or do we just play the faithful? There's a lot of faithful around here. I think I like seeing if we can get this going, because it could let me get the faithfuls out faster if they take it, and if we get to trade up here, I think we're happy about it. Those commands do indeed still exist, Rob. Feel free to pet Dutch. I miss the little son of a gun. And if they take it, we've basically gotten a free terminate, eh? Yeah, I think so too. Depends on what they got. Like, this gonna get one these here faithful, but the more life we gain in, the better that angel is when we draw it. Hey, that could be mighty nice. I mean, there's also the value of feeding it and just getting in there, but this deck is going to have Lindas, and I should probably save my removal for things my board state can't handle. Then again, I might just be interested in this. If you're going to make it that tasty, I'm going to eat it. We've been had. So do we play out the Avenger here? I think I do. With some reservation. Like, we need to accept that the Elder Hall is going to get us at some point. If it happens to get this, that's okay. And if they're using it now, we can trade off the board and still have 4/2s attacking. It would prevent the Linda problem, which is a significant problem. Because we're not really going to run out of Coma's Faithfuls. I got plenty more of these. And we got some decent 2-drops now to get back. I think we'd probably want the Avenger if we drew our Angel, par exemple. That's my plan. Let's do that. I don't think we need to worry about that just yet. I have milled people out with Coma's Faithfuls before. That's one of the best games I've had in this format. My opponent was 3 cards higher in their library, and I realized that if I just let the game keep going, I would eventually draw my 2 Coma's Faithful and the Crippling Fear to kill them, and I did that and milled them out. Was exciting. But currently we're at 24 and they're at 20, so they'd mill first. I was using that. Not very nice. They drew 2 cards with the Pack Mate because they cast it twice. It was twice as nice. I think I'm definitely sending 1. I'm hoping they don't have another Vandal because I'd like this Helm to be better than just a 5 mana 2/2. So they drew a card, they salvaged it back with Raise the Dongers, and then they sacrificed it, but they lost an Arachnoform. So suppose realistically you could say they drew 3 cards with it. Sort of, if you think about it. But was the Arachnoform even really a card? Seems questionable. So that mill hit our Raise the Dongers, Valkyrie, and Axguard Armory. So the Angel is still in here. What's up, Fee? Doing good, how you be? Well, that poses a bit of a problem. We just filled their graveyard right up for them. Can we draw... Yeah, land is kind of what I was thinking we needed. I mean, the advantage is we at 34. The disadvantage is I can't race that. I'm thinking about sacking the token to make an angel. I don't think we have many lines to winning without relying on the top of our deck. When again, they've got 2 cards and missed a land drop earlier. They've got action. My concern is if it's a removal spell, we're just going to die. But I think we're probably just going to die anyway. So this is probably the direction I want to go. The real angel was inside it all along. Like, I've gained enough life that it's not a big deal if this connects a couple times, but I'd still kind of rather it not. Well, we would take out a creature that I'm not super interested in, and then I'd have to sacrifice the Coma's Faithful to make the angel. So I don't think attack first makes a lot of sense there. Because we're probably trading our zombie token for a 1/2. The 1/2 is not incredibly relevant. We could have done that if we wanted to bluff something like a Jarl of the Forsaken. But since I don't have one, I'm not too keen on bluffing that. I think this is our plan. We're going to race Egon and see what we can do. It is indeed a load-bearing angel. Yeah, they ain't got something now, so we need to dodge 2 turns of them drawing something, and we can potentially scrape out a win. So, Michael, I know you and AF Gaming just did a set review. What do you think about Guiding Voice? They have now realized how I plan to win. Put Helm on the Faithful? Why? I don't have enough mana. And I also don't have a Helm. Everybody be saying it bad. I don't think it bad. Rated as a C. I think it's the best white common. So many exiled cards. They bought themselves an extra 2 turns through that line. It's going to be really hard to beat. Braggart is just bad. Braggart's fine. They can't, like, if I attack with the Braggart, it's a 4/4 Vigilance functionally next turn. That may actually hold back Egon, and if I'm holding back Egon, we're good. You mean as a card? This is... You have some interesting card evaluations. There's nothing bad about Axgard Braggart. I'm thinking about blocking here and there. Like, they've got, what, 4 cards in the graveyard? Like, what have they got? They've got +2/+0 and put it back in. They've got gifts. That's gonna hurt whichever way I go. All right, show me what you got. It's a common 3/3. What's the problem? It's not there for 2 more turns if we suspect they have gifts. Because I'm gonna have to block some of this crap before then. Bound would have been a nice draw, but we were pretty far away from it. This is not a bad card. It is okay to be wrong and disagree with me, though. I don't think it's a particularly good card, but I'm certainly not going to call it bad. It's like what you get for commons now. So if we think they have gifts, does an attack here make any sense at all? What would their blocks look like? They look pretty rough, but at least I'm not taking the damage to the face. I don't have a lot of lines that get me out of this with these lands we're drawing. We could also potentially draw Kaya's Onslaught to get out of this. Because that would just kill him 1 hit, which I dig. That's my guess too, real men. But I can take more hits from this than they can take out of that. Well, I guess it's 2 and 2. But I could conceivably chomp again. It's not like they can get through on the ground forces. And we could draw in on land. I'm not going to say that's likely, but we could. Just crazy enough to work. All right, there we go. There we go. Whew, lordy. Oh. This is not a touchdown. They have a reach blocker. Attack with both? They just block both and kill me. All right, so the line here then is to attack with the angel. Have double strike if they block the boggart. I do, but what if instead I attack here, let them chomp, and then next turn they don't have that, I chomp, and then I kill them? We'd be taking 6, 7, 8, 9. Our life total's 10. Yes. I understand all of these things. However, if I attack this way and we have to use this defensively, I can't win the game. But if I just go here, I can win. I can conceivably win the game. There's also the possibility that they don't block, but I think they're blocking. Yeah, they're definitely going to chump the angel. And I'm still not technically dead because I could block with the angel, but we need the onslaught to win. Attacking with the braggart means I'm not going to have the onslaught to win. If they have another reach creature, we could conceivably draw something to kill it, but again, we're pretty good at drawing lands. All right, so we're going to need to draw something to kill it. One time dealer. What removal spells do I have left? Bounding Gold's in the bin. So is Feed the Serpent. So I don't actually... We're cold to this. And one timing, but there's not actually anything to get. Yeah, we don't have anything left that kills it. Our only hope is that they somehow don't block this. Which I think is incredibly unlikely, because I can't get another turn of chomping. But we did. It's okay. You can't win them all. All right, let us go to Stream Raid. And then we'll run the rest of them. Yeah, it was a good game. There were some interesting lines. No, we had a decision to make about how to play around the demonic gifts. And I don't know that it was necessarily power cards. We drew a few too many lands. They didn't get the packmate back. I suppose it's always possible. We did not win Playkey. But if I'm in their perspective, I'm thinking about how do I lose? And clearly my plan is to try to kill them with this flyer. Adam with the kills, Jim with the assist. Rewards for Orcish Simwife. My favorite person, Mosif and Guitenfort. Someone said you drew too many resources in Magic. What would you think? That they don't play a lot of Magic? Hey, sorry, bud. She is my favorite person. This ain't pretty, but I can do something with it. Need one land. And we have format defining All-Star Axe Braggart. There's a possibility I poison a cop just to get the scry value. I think I'm too proud to do that, but I may get their next one with it. So how do I feel about using all of my mana versus playing a shield mate, which would be a decent trade? Because I think I'm very interested in having this Coma's Faithful die currently to get us in the air. Yeah, I'm a slave to mana efficiency. I can't not play a 3 mana card when I have 3 mana. It's just, I have not the ability to do that. Well, now I have regrets. You know what? It's okay. They have a Jaspara Sentinel we're probably losing. Was that worth poisoning? I don't think it is now, but I think there's a strong case that it will be next turn. Well, if you're going to make it that tempting, consider me tempted. I wonder if they'd put the other counter on it too, because I've got attacks with both of these. They're kind of encouraged to. As long as they don't have a snakeskin veil, we can be pretty happy with this. That's satisfying. I don't really want more 3/1s. Do I want a Death Nail Berserker? Not really. I'd rather get to another removal spell, or even a White Source would be acceptable here. I'm doing good, Ray. How you doing? Taste it. I just pay full price. Blinds are good. Holy crap, their saga killed them. There's not a lot of bad mana sinks. I again would not argue that Braggart is good. I would just argue that it's a playable common. But munch. All right. This hand has some opinions. I believe you said Braggart was a bad card. And that's what I'm trying to argue about, is most of the commons that we see in sets now aren't good or bad. They're just fine. Some of them are situational, but none of them are like, oh my god, this card's amazing or this card's terrible. And it's okay not to like the card. I don't like Fearless Pup, but it's fine. Is it good? Is it bad? Not really. It's just a card. I think that would be helpful too, Dave, with all hyperbole set aside. Yeah, it's not helpful. I think X is better than or X is worse than does something. And then there's some cards that are just obviously good, but they don't really print bad cards anymore, right? Yeah, it seems like more useful information. Sure, they'll print some cards that are situationally bad for limited and some that are bad for constructed or whatever. That's fine. But it used to be that there were like tons of actively bad cards that got printed for various formats. And they just don't do that anymore. I think, to my estimation, Jarl is significantly worse. I would rather play a deck that has an Axe Braggart in it than a Jarl. But that is a good way to begin the discussion. I'll agree with Dave there. The pacifism in Strix is trying hard to bring back the bad. Yeah. Yeah. They had to make room for the spells somewhere, and I think they did a decent enough job. Who doesn't love a 3-mana 2/4? Somebody was saying that would probably be my favorite card in the set, and it might just be. You think that because it does. 6 power and toughness for 3 mana is pretty good. Yeah, there's not a miniature novel written on each of these, which is nice. Yeah, 3/3s for 3 are, well, used to be pretty good. Me too, exploding. That is 6 power and toughness. 2 + 4 is 6. Like, I don't really care where it's spread out. I think a 5/1 and a 1/5 you're kind of not interested in, but a 4/2 and a 2/4 are pretty good, and a 3/3 is kind of the sweet spot. It will be fun to try out the new set and see some of the cards available. Yeah, 2 mana 1/4 may have some room too. Didn't they print a 3 mana 5/0? And like Time Spiral? Because I seem to remember that. Oh, my mistake. It was an 8/0 with Trample. Trample? No respect for my faithfuls. I wonder why you'd kill that instead of the, or you'd kill the 2/2 instead of the 3/1. I guess maybe they've got something that could block it? Oh, they have a Basalt Ravager. Do I draw 2 cards? Whenever another non-token elf or berserker you control dies, I should get 2 cards off of this. I'm going to call the Flavor Judge. I think it's obvious that I should get 2 cards. Like, incredibly obvious. That makes me believe that I would probably hate Unstable. I don't even need that land. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that too. Approach me, brethren. The Canadians don't have their vaccines yet, sadly. So we had tentatively thought that when this is all over, we could get to Montreal and see Marty and such, but it's possible I would, John. I got to be at 27 to get my total. That was a pretty cheeky line. I think it did, Marty. Send me some pictures of your new place. I may not get to visit this year, but I'd like to see it. I came through what set would I like to draft? Chaos draft, my dude. Everybody bring 3 packs. Draft what you want. No one wants 3 packs of Homelands. You could play Fallen Empires. I don't understand why you would play Homelands. That's all we got, isn't it? Yeah, because the helm's already milled, but at least like we can sort of compete with that. We're gonna have to win in the air. And there's not a lot of flyers we have left that we could just draw and slam this turn. You know? We mill our other flyer land. That's a shame because I would have liked that. I guess we'll take the helm. That seems like it'll close things out faster. It's a shame I can't get the token with it, but this will work. Kind of, hey, can you kill my shepherd? Because if you can't, you're going to be in some trouble. Looks like they can. This is unfortunate. Wouldn't exactly say I've been enjoying it, Bob. Not quite enough to just kill him. I think Narfi has to be off of this table. And this is giving itself 1+2. That doesn't even do anything now. Like, I don't think they have an attack here. And they certainly don't have good blocks. I'll take it. King Narfi betrayed them. We could see it right there. All right, I have run out of soda, so I apologize again, YouTube. Chat is going to have to entertain you for just a moment, but I won't be long. I'm just going to go grab a drink. I didn't expect us to win this many games, so I was not prepared. But I'll be right back. Thank you for entertaining YouTube. We've got a little bit of a special YouTube video, like a 2-for-1. I know Magic players love value because Sim Wife went to the grocery store and got me some cheddar bunnies. Well, she got us some cheddar bunnies, but I'm getting into them first. If you've been like, man, I really need a combo draft stream with a little bit of asthma crunching, I got you covered. They're for us. They're for us. But like, check it out. There you go, boys and girls. That hand to be a bit slow. All right, let's talk. It got better. They like goldfish. I don't know if they have them where you at. This could be quite the start. I think these are slightly better than goldfish and slightly more expensive. I'm an American. I don't know what good cheese tastes like. Yeah. Oh. I was having such a good time with that. Suppose this is why we can't have nice things. I don't have any way to get that back, right? Like there's nothing. I have erased the dongers. All right, fine. It would be nice if I drew erase the dongers. They've got spirit. Yes, they do. Is Kraft a Canadian brand? We got it all over the place around here too. With fancy ketchup. I kind of just want to play out the 3/3 flyer and be like, yeah, I don't get value. But I could get so much more value if I sacrificed this first. And this may be a turn where I need to feed the serpent one of them things. I think it probably is. Yeah, these things are starting to get big enough that I think removing them would be useful. de facto national dish of Canada. I would have thought it was poutine, man. They about to go extinct. Did we though? 'Cause we're actually in a good bit of trouble here. Because they're going to get a huge bear. And they're attacking for, frankly, an unbearable amount of damage here. I do believe that is what the bounding gold is for. We will see. That could not have worked out any more perfectly. So you can have a big bear, but it can't attack or block. And that's how you handle the 3 bears. I don't know how you handle the eyeside troll. That's a problem for another Travis. Because they're about to gain 9 life. That seems like a lot of lives. Doesn't it? This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can take 8. That is currently my plan. They see me trolling. Oh, so how much is this? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if I just sacrifice this and they don't draw something, they're just dead. Let me make sure I got this right. 2, 4, 6. And then each snowland is 1 damage. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so they're going to have to answer this. Or we got him. All of which is less than 18. That's the magic number. And it is a magical number. Okay. Donk, donk, donk. All right, looks like we got a Stream Raiders battle ready. Let's do that. I kind of leveled up my curse and have gone all in on this, but that doesn't seem that bad. But neither 12 nor 13 are 18, and that is what we are most concerned about. Roll seems like a really good common if you have a bunch of snowlands. I've been pretty happy playing them. The threat of activation essentially makes it unblockable. Yeah, the fact that the worst case of Starheim is a 4-mana 4/4 flyer is like, oh, woe is me. Card's great. All right, Simwife, my favorite person with the kills, Orcish Artillery with the assists, rewards for Yak, Shorty, Orcish, Gweetenfort, and Zed Magic. Don't look like it matters which way we go because we've already gotten the spoils. Yeah, we could hit Mythic here if we win this one. That'd be swell. But we've got 2 losses to give on the run. It's not a bad start, is it? Real good cat thing. I think I went from being the best limited streamer no one knew about to being... Which one do I want to run out here? Very happy to have you guys and gals hanging out. Because they're going to play a pack mate. I guess the shield mate would leave me something there, but like it's so easy to cast and equip later. I think I'm just going to go with a Story Seeker. If they don't have a way to block it, this is better. If they do, this would have been better. But like that could be a snuggle for all we know. I usually assume it's going to be a snack mate. Plains wouldn't even be a bad draw here, would it? We used to routinely have 300 to 400 viewers in the Magic Online days. Well, I look at it as rebuilding. It's a good thing. Glad you were all here. White Source would let us play the Shield Mate and the Valkyrie. As is, we'd probably just jam the Braggart. Yeah. I could also play this out with the idea that I could get a chonk in. I mean, I could play and equip it with the idea that I get a big chomp in, but I suspect our next turn is going to have to be bound in gold. Because this is looking like Linda mana to me. So bound in gold equip. Go seems okay. It does. This is where Braggart will shine. Well, I think it was a factor too of I expected the people that had been streaming Magic Online to draw in more of an audience with Arena, and it didn't really work out that way, which was kind of funny. That's not great for us, but also not the worst thing ever. It means they're not able to unlock their Linda later. And we kind of got our value out of it. We got to trade a 2-drop for a 4-drop. Approach me, brethren. We've been had. That would be hard to organize, sir, just because of streaming times. But honestly, an event like the Invitational will lead to raids. Just because, like, I'm getting to interact with people I haven't interacted with before. I think I've got enough life to play around with that I can afford the Draugr's Helm this turn. I mean, it's a lifestyle. I look at if there is an early access event, like they're fun to participate in, and I think it's always good to have the opportunity to play with the cards early. I'd very much like to get started in Strixhaven as well. I think it could be a lot of fun. I'm still curious how much I need to play around Alinda here. Because I think the answer is at least a little bit. That stuff's from Channel Fireball, though, isn't it? Not from WotC? Okay, so it seems like it was correct to play around the Linda. Maybe it is. Who knows? We will see. I think we chumped this and plan to turn it into a 4-4, and are pretty happy with that. Because I can stop attacking with this if I need to. The second Linda is going to be the one that we need to deal with, so like ground forces are going to need to start showing up. Because the next one will be a 7-7, so there's some argument to be careful there. So I can get me a 4-4 and a 3-3, and then like gang block this. It doesn't seem great. I also can't play out both of these this turn. That means I'm probably chump blocking the 7-7, which is not great. I was hoping I would hit Mythic on the YouTube video. That would have been swell. This is 4 to equip too, right? Yeah. So we're actively going to need some help here, because this thing is going to start to hurt. This is a pretty passive line. I like it. If they're going to hold back that 7-7, I can still win. No, stop. Why? Come on. I had a plan. It was a good plan. It was a really solid plan. The Stalwart Valkyrie can block the Mistwalker. The problem is we're just going to die to the 7/7 now. Warrior, 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 you gotta go. This leaves us in a really incredibly tough spot. There was a turn where I could have moved the helmet over instead of deploying 2 cards, and I think I should have. It would have made it harder for them to struggle my bird, and that's kind of where things got out of control. Like, we can double block this and hope that we rip creatures. That's probably the best shot I've got. I don't think it's a very good shot. I suppose I could rip a removal spell for the bird into something that could block the Packmate. And we're still sort of playing Magic, but that's assuming these 2 cards don't do anything. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That was our shot at hitting Mythic here. We can still do it, but it just means it won't be in this run. You have mentioned that you don't like guild sets as it forces 5 decks. Is this one different? Potentially. It looks like there's the fixing there to draft wedges in addition to the 5 decks. And I think the lesson and learn mechanic may be adding enough that Strixhaven will be different. We'll see. There's also the possibility, like, I don't think Kaldheim was actually a bad set. I just had incredibly high expectations for it. Whereas for Strixhaven, I was basically thinking the set will probably be garbage. And the more I look at it, I'm like, hey, it may actually not be. Right? So when the set you expected to be amazing turns out to be okay, you're disappointed. When the set you thought was going to be terrible turns out to be okay or better, you're like, well, heck yeah. Yeah, my biggest complaint is that, and John kind of coined this, I don't know, way of looking at draft. Like, some recent draft formats have made the draft more of an activity than a game. And I think that was, I don't think that's good for Limited. Have you been enjoying any other games off stream? Yeah, I still play WoW, and I like Valorant. I'm terrible at it. It's fun. I have dreams of one day getting all my buddies to make a team, and we're going to make a run for it and be amazing. But like at 43, I'm probably not. But one can still dream. I seen you tweeting about Monster Hunter. I don't know anything about it. I have no idea what that game is all about. Kill monsters, harvest their bits, make stuff, kill more. All right. I guess it's right there in the name. This is awkward, but I'm gonna have to get through that thing somehow. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Or maybe I'm not. So what are they looking to do? Kill one of my dudes and get it back? Get it? That means I can Probably steal a win with the Shepherd if they're going to continue to not block. Escape from Tarkov crossed with anime? I mean, that sounds good to me. If they're too scared to block now, I'll just kill them. But I think I'd probably go for it next turn rather than this turn. Although one could argue that an efficient use of mana would be to just exile the Necromancer so that things really can't go wrong. Then chonk for 3, that would put him at 7. And give us a pretty decent line. I don't want to deal with the Necromancer. I don't have to deal with the Necromancer. Good afternoon, Zach. I like cute cats. Vel. Good afternoon, Vel. My apologies. I hope you're having a good Elish morning. We are 2 pips away. We were 1 pip away, but now we're 2 pips away. And it makes me sad. Palicos? You know, maybe I could get into Monster Hunter. I like the idea of Palicos. Yeah, if they crack it, they're dead. If they tap my Shepherd and play 1 blocker, they're dead. To be fair, I probably wouldn't. It does not sound like a Travis card. A Travis game. Neat. Boop. All right, there we go. That was a long one for the YouTubes, but we'll take it. And it is possible that I could hit Mythic today. So YouTubers, thank you guys and gals for tuning in. I appreciate you watching. Twitch chat, don't worry. There is plenty more draft for us to do this afternoon. And YouTubers, if you would like to watch me get 0-3s, I guess it's not 0-3s, what do we call them now? 7Xs and X3s? You can do so at twitch.tv/Semulin. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube.